Okay.
Or if their first pick is Ryze, if LMQ just picks Trist in the next rotation with their first 2 picks on the red side, that should be what would happen as a Game 4 adjustment.
Well, if they get a new Trist, my mind will be blown. Zillion and Zed. Zed's never going to get played here. He's been in every game on that ban list.
Or, if Ryze is such a priority for TSM, does LMQ just leave Syndra up and pick up Xiao Xiao? There's a lot of things they actually can do if they choose to change up their strats here.
That's a very interesting proposition. We saw Maokai going out last time to kind of squeeze out the pick that LMQ actually wanted, rather to be TSM this time. And the Ryze does get banned. So one of those late game champion carries has been taken down.
Syndra up. So think of it this way. TSM wants Syndra. They forfeit Nunu and Trist. They're in a bad spot right now. It feels like. I like the mind game here. TSM was going to be able to rely on this Ryze. Or even if Tristana is a priority for LMQ. There's a lot of things that both these teams have proven their ability to play. There's the Nami, there's the Lee Sin. Lulu might come into the fold here with Ryze banned as far as top lane goes. There's just so much going on.
Been quite a while indeed since we've seen that Lulu. Ackerman also playing that quite a bit throughout the season, so he knows what he's getting himself up against. We'll see what No Name and the rest of the team answer with here. Pretty solid pickup for Dyrus there on just Lulu.
Kind of feel like if, there's just too much available right now, Orianna, the mid lane picks are most likely going to cycle between Orianna, Yasuo, Syndra.
Well, there's a knock-up. There's 2 knock-ups that could synergize very well with the Yasuo.
Did they really pick Braum this early when they just beat a Braum with the Nami? Yeah, there we go. That makes more sense. They really liked the matchup there. I mean, if we think about the way they were able to win that game, a lot of it was in the bottom lane, Vasilian Moore using the Nami against TSM, but it leaves Trist.
Yep.
Now we're seeing the real adaptations. Adaptations.
Trolly trolls.
Yeah.
I like it though. Because with the engagements that LMQ tries to force themselves into, they can always use that tidal wave. So safe play comes out. Bjergsen gets his Syndra. Something that was considered should have been banned in matchups.
It's going to be on him to create a lot of plays in the mid lane. While Xerath can do a bunch of damage, he doesn't create the picks. You can play Yasuo into Syndra.
Yep.
Got to be really good at Yasuo. Oh man.
Get the right wind walls and you shut down.
It's going to be good.
That Syndra with no escape. This is going to be very good. More control, more champions that can be in the fight and create chaos. This is where LMQ thrives. And the sustain on the backside already coming from Nami. Be rounding out here with the AD carry, something different for LMQ if they pick this Mundo. So they go with the Corki.
Would they actually? I mean, Lucian hasn't been working for them. Maybe they want a little bit of magic damage to come out of their AD carry position. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Let's throw in the Corki.
Still looking for Ackerman's top lane. You get that AP out of the Mundo. A little bit of magic damage that the kills still could decide to pick up, but they want a few more ideas of the Kha'Zix and the Braum coming from Team SoloMid. Now they have a full idea of what to counter with that top lane. Ackerman has been one of the solid players. We were talking about him a little bit. We just mentioned, coming off that big stage. So he could be a guy that you put a pivotal champion on to be a key player.
Yeah, they're counterpicking their top lane here, in a sense. It would make sense to just go Mundo. It's totally a fine pick against Lulu. There's been a lot of top lane bans this game. I mean, if we actually think about it, there's been 4.
Yeah.
Nidalee, Maokai, Alistar. Even though Alistar can be a support, it's a top lane ban a lot of the time. And yeah, the Mundo is just kind of the generic safe pick here. There's not much else he could go for unless he tried something really out of the box. Keeping the tank line strong. Yeah, this is going to be a great game. TSM might lose out a little on vision control because they do not have a jungler who can build an early sightstone.
Yep, that's true.
That definitely hurt Team SoloMid early on in Game 1. They're going to have to avoid that somehow, whether it be better ward contributions from elsewhere or just playing a more straightforward type of game.
Right. Well, we're only getting better games as these teams have felt each other out. It was really the ward game of Bjergsen roaming in that second one to get himself the kills. Now we'll see what happens coming out in game 4. This is match point here as LMQ looks to be going to Worlds. They are going to want that so much. TSM really wanting to return.
For a 4th time, it would be Dyrus making it to his 4th straight World Championship if he's able to qualify here in the next 2 games. But it's going to be tricky because LMQ is a great team. We saw in that last one, you make one misstep against LMQ, and they will punish you.
Why wouldn't they? The champs are locked in, so let's head over to Twitter, and you guys let us know who will come out on top. Tweet at LOL eSports. Use the hashtag TSM win or LMQ win.
TSM definitely had the hashtags winning during that long extended pause we had last game and came out of it with the Dragon. But Bjergsen couldn't seal the deal with the Xerath. The rest of the team was too far behind. They didn't have enough playmaking potential on the rest of the team, something they have hopefully remedied here. I mean, Syndra in herself can just create plays for the rest of the team. Follow that up with any type of Lulu moves, and you got yourself a good strategy.
A good strategy indeed. We'll see who becomes the best. Game 4, we are on to the Rift here. PAX Prime ready for matches as everybody at home is as well in their PAX parties. Let's see what we got in the inventories coming out. Nothing irregular. No early wards. It looks like both teams are going to have to get their own deep vision here as they're going to move topside, maybe. Well, they're setting up the line of scrimmage. It looks like nobody's really going to be putting themselves in a scary spot early. Get this, and then a bit of an invade.
Yeah, this is a maybe more reserved early game. We've had standard lanes every single set here. I mean, this would actually be one of those times where if you're TSM, maybe you consider swapping. Their 2v2 lane has done very poorly against LMQ, but you do sacrifice a fair bit if you decide to lane swap. So it looks like TSM's still going standard lane.
30 seconds until minions spawn.
No name leveling his Q there. Maybe a late invade here to see. There he goes. Very nice sonic wave to connect. So he's got the knowledge of 3 members and does not get a deep ward, unfortunately. Puts that in the kill brush. TSM knows they can thwart that and get an early ward in there. So they bide their time. Xiao giving a little love tap to Bjergsen as he makes his way out. So good wards all around. Nobody really getting too much more than the other. They still have wards on the top side from Team SoloMid. And the bottom side is LMQ. Got their own. I guess it helps that TSM has that blue ward, but...
It does. It lets them know where No Name started. It actually means they kind of have to be on guard for an invade from Lee Sin onto their own blue buff, but it's a lowish priority risk. That's why Dyrus is thinking about going down to check it.
The thing that No Name is really good at doing is dodging wards. You see how he dodges all these ones and can actually make it around. Sneakily getting himself into position. So he gets a bit of help here, obviously, with the red starting on that Q, smiting it out. And he gets a lot of help over to Amazing. So junglers are going to be starting on opposite sides of the map here, unless we see something big from the bottom lane of Amazing and TSM. He's going up towards Wraiths. We're going to have easy starts.
Yep. So a match of wits in the lanes once again.
Yeah, a lot of power comes from Corki and Nami in the early game. No sustain to Lost Boy and Turtle, so I'm sure LMQ is going to want to go hard here. Freezing it and making sure they have to come out a little bit. There's the brush control.
Yeah, I mean, TSM's bottom lane got so aggressive early on in the lane with Braum Lucian. Braum Trist's level 1 isn't exactly the same, and now Moore is using that to his edge and just trying to poke him out, knowing that TSM has no sustain. They definitely start the lane on the defensive.
Wild Turtle has rocket jump.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, that's one reason they'd play the lane defensive. Why would you start the game with rocket jump on Trist? That may have just been a bad skill choice.
Maybe keeping out of that brush bubble.
It completely makes them irrelevant for now.
Oh, yeah. We'll see. Level 1 definitely giving up there. Level 2 to Vasily and Moore quite fast, and Moore is able to get out of lane an early ward down in the river so they can go a little bit harder as they like to.
Yeah, he's definitely planning on just trying to get as much CS at turret as possible. His second skill point was not to explosive shot.
Okay.
So that he won't mess up any of this CS at the turret. So is the hope. Whether or not that works or not, he missed about 4 of them. They're already down 17-8, just completely giving way to LMQ's duo threat. If they're going to play the lane like this anyway, you have to question why not do a lane swap.
That's true. You're going to be going up against Sustain, so everything you take is going to stick, and they'll be able to just keep pressuring harder. Level 3 is there to Turtle, so he keeps himself on par. But the CS is going to be big. Vasili's been able to control a lane. He's usually able to carry that into the late game. A movement from No Name. Oh, wow. He just gets under the edge of that. Low mana here for Bjergsen. Talked about that hard no escape there for a Syndra, but he's able to get himself in position for the waltz out. No flash necessary.
Yeah, may force an early back, or wanted to force an early back. Bjergsen would have loved to have enough gold to go back and buy, but he's going to stick around for one more wave. But as you can see, he's losing a decent amount of CS with his own cannon. He doesn't want to go back on a cannon minion wave, so it's why he's sticking around. But it did allow Xiao some free farm.
Actually misses out that first one. It was just under the double turret shot hit rate. And LMQ is looking for something now in the top lane. This is No Name not stopping. Consecutive ganks coming from him from mid lane now to the top lane. Dyrus is going to feel a little bit of the pressure.
I mean, nice escapes by TSM. They haven't had to burn any summoner spells in there, burning some time with No Name. Whereas Amazing's first gank does burn a flash.
And an exhaust. Very nicely done. Great job there. Bjergsen not pulling out a lane because he wants to back there, and he was pretty low on mana. So single-handedly there by Amazing, getting some great pressure onto Xiao.
Dyrus will be low from the first one.
He's got to keep enough for Whimsy. He uses everything right away. Those are going to stick. Ackerman throws it out quite early, and the blue suede shoes pay off for Dyrus. He gets out clean.
Flash for flash.
Yep.
However, the lane is not in the greatest place for Dyrus. He is at risk of being a little bit camped, but for now, he's going to be A-okay.
See the boots pot starts here for Xiao. Didn't realize that in lane. Keep himself dodging the spheres.
A lot of people start boots against Syndra. It makes it easier to dodge the Q as well. You want the extra health potions as well. If you do get harassed down a little bit early, you don't want to be in a situation in lane where you're low on health around the time Syndra hits level 6.
Goodbye.
Which happens frequently.
Oh, this pressure. Getting a few of the shots on. Oh, ebb and flow. And some tight caller's blessing to make everything just right. 4 to 4s are the levels of this lane, but the CS is not matching up.
A Trist versus Corki matchup, especially Nami versus Braum, should go on the side of Corki. It's just a matter of to what magnitude. Xiao level 6.
Fog of War Syndra play here onto Xiao. It looks like Amazing's just going to start to deny the jungle, though. That ward that they have over near the wolves kind of gave him that idea. So it may not be nice if we want to do the dive. We'll steal jungle and deny. Nice dodges by Bjergsen as well to keep himself safe in lane.
But you can see the boots giving him the speed to move away from the last dart. Big time counter jungler going down from Amazing, though. Really trying to keep No Name back, punishing him. This is Amazing doing a good job of punishing No Name for all of his lane pressure. Amazing's lane paid a little bit. Dyrus having to burn his flash and not get a big edge. Yet now they're going to know where he was.
I like it. Amazing's gone for that stone, and he's just continuously countering, hoping to not find No Name. If he finds No Name, No Name's got 2 long swords. That's going to be a bad fight for him. So great movement from Amazing coming into this game to thwart out No Name's jungle. Let's see what else they got. Haven't decided to go for Ackerman up top. That was just No Name going for Dyrus. Mundo gets the 6, and he is safe. He can be a menace late game. Actually building up a Negatron cloak as well, so Dyrus can't even push him out of lane. 51 to 44 there. Not too shabby by both laners. Dyrus is able to put it down a little bit of damage that causes Ackerman's ultimate. Not seeing anything that's really going to swing the game just yet. Gold is 100 off of just being even.
A little bit of difference in strategy as far as support builds go between Moore and Lustboy. We'll talk about that after this gank, though. Dyrus still no flash.
Can he dodge it all again? He has been getting out of everything today. Wild Growth's going to do that nicely. The Glitter Lance just inside turret range does trigger onto No Name, so he cannot stay for any more shots. They do have that ultimate up. Okay, they're not going to use it to dive. Maybe they will.
They want the extra health here. They're trying to push Dyrus off turret. If he keeps dodging, though,
that was nice.
He would buy enough time for his support staff to arrive.
I think that's
a lot of harass here.
That
Amazing trying to take it in. Low on mana, though.
Boom! Amazing comes in. That's the second time he's flashed in and got his own kill. Coming into the game. A little bit of a touch on the backside from Dyrus there, but they're able to come out very strong. Now to the bottom, Vasily gets 1 Winter's Bite, a second, a third. Concussive Blows does not connect with a 4th shot. That could have been some deadly pressure.
That top lane play, though, was pretty much just exceptional play from Dyrus. An amazing reap the rewards of what Dyrus was able to accomplish up there. So that first pick Lulu is really well commanded so far by Dyrus. Let's see if Amazing can turn that kill into any pressure, and a little bit of fighting back there by Wild Turtle we saw in the bot lane, nearly netting themselves a kill.
Yeah, very close. The pressure's going to be huge for them. It's that, not even a phage, it was a quick sheen coming in from Vasily for the kill pressure in that lane. Wild Turtle with a BF sword on his first back. He's able to answer a little bit of damage, I should say, along with the help of Lost Boy. Not even need to use summoners in that last engage. They're just doing pretty good in lane here. 68 to 75. Keeping consistent in how much CS he's down, but that's actually expected for the Triss with the explosive shot. He actually just went ahead and took his...
Ooh, the bubble lands!
If he can't get the buster shot off, this is going to be big damage coming onto him. He does land, and he would have been able to get it out, but...
Yeah, the shield
tricky
from Lost Boy.
Yeah.
Countering the tidal wave and keeping Wild Turtle alive. But those bubbles are really scary. Let's see how that lane approaches this. This is interesting. What a juke.
All day, every day. Oh, kicks him up. The exhaust goes down immediately. Look at that, 75% health Bjergsen. The teleport now coming in. Ackerman doing what he can on this fight. Dyrus' teleport goes off as well, and he's going to be joining this fight. Dyrus is right in the middle of the fray with the team. Ackerman going to be the one to go down. The last hit, is it glitter? It is. It's going to be a double kill for Dyrus on the TP.
And the shield comes in, so matching TP for TP, the Lulu makes more impact than the Mundo.
Oh yeah.
TSM charging for this Game 5 force.
Oh my gosh, they're gonna go ahead and open up the map. You're gonna get a little more vision on the side of LMQ, denied theirs. We're just gonna see a lot of wards coming out here. TSM doing a great job to control this early game and really putting LMQ on the back foot. We heard them say it before, if you can take control of LMQ in the early game, they don't really know what to do.
We've seen that happen a few times. LMQ definitely good at coming back in games, though.
That's true.
Right here,
they can find those mistakes.
They exhaust Bjergsen to avoid the immediate damage, but that exhaust didn't really eat any damage. Bjergsen gets to save it until later. Amazing just in the middle with that max W, slowing everybody down. And then Xiao Xiao had no choice but to bail out. He'd use his ultimate, didn't have heavy amounts of items, and they could just chase down on the turret. But LMQ gets the dragon.
Traded for dragon.
Because everyone on TSM went back to base to keep it close.
So, Team SoloMid doing a good job at thwarting LMQ from getting the first blood every game. This time, they do not. That goes to Team SoloMid, and we'll see if they can carry that momentum even further. We're now 12 minutes in, so 3 kills across the board, especially with some being on Dyrus here. I wonder how that's going to be. In their matchups over the season, Dyrus was playing a lot of, tanks, utilities, things that wouldn't get kills, and he only had 1 kill in the 4 games, so he's the one that can put up some power here.
Dyrus,
see if he can actually fall into that role.
Dyrus has typically been owned by Ackerman in this matchup.
Yeah. His
Lulu play throughout the summer split has been very impressive.
And he's been dodging ganks all day in the top lane. Actually created one that helped out Team SoloMid, so his play in general is really on the up and up.
Well, they're definitely trying to punish Ackerman.
Oh,
They
yeah.
have the healing debuff from Dyrus' Morellonomicon that they're going to try and just brute force him down. Not getting turret aggro until Bjergsen is there. Here we go.
Beautiful job. The stun goes out. Bjergsen grabs it. Not exactly what they wanted, but Tyrus makes sure to take down the turret. Great focus, great movements. TSM, they got the method to the madness this game.
Well executed. 2,500 gold lead by 12.5 minutes. And LMQ is kind of forced into some responsive playing right here. Xiao Xiao feels like he wants to get a little aggressive, but they feint aggression often in their games. It's one thing LMQ players will do is they'll play like they have a gank coming, even if they do not.
Saying there's fights going on up top. We want to be a part of that too. LMQ goes hard on TSM in the bottom lane. A little bit of a back and forth that leaves Vasily limping away for now. He is going to go ahead and get himself backed, actually. Great job by Dyrus and Amazing in this game. Coming out strong. 2-0-2 for them across the board, and 3 assists for Bjergsen as he's been roaming to help get this. Some's been brought to him in the mid lane, so that helps.
Yeah, the most critical thing about all this is the fact that Wild Turtle and Lost Boy have held their own in this bottom lane.
Yeah, right.
No Name spent so much time trying to gank solo lanes. Amazing countered them well. TSM was winning the 3v3 last game if we consider jungle and solo lanes, but they lost the bottom lane so badly they couldn't transition into victory. This time they're having the same victory from game 3, but without the defeat in the bottom lane for now.
Oh, very close to coming up on that kill pressure. If the shots hit, Wild Turtle's in big danger.
And where is LMQ going to focus their attention? Xiao Xiao wants to find something here. Lost Boy's got to get out of there real quick. They're going to lose the turret, if nothing else.
Xiao actually waits on the outside for this one. He's not going to get a kill out of it, and he's actually going to allow that. And why not get the gold? Get close to it. He's going to go back and get his buy. He has what he needs most likely. It's going to be Merc Treads for him, so he gets out of Bjergsen's control, or crowd control, even quicker if it happens. And around the board, definitely more finished items here on TSM, but we'll see what happens from this back of some LMQ members.
Bjergsen actually getting an early Seeker. Instead of going straight for ability power on Syndra, making sure he holds a little bit of power in that matchup against Xiao. And I do want to touch on the point we brought up earlier about LMQ and their ways of playing from behind. Because they're such a great early game team, you would think that they don't know how to play from behind. But actually amazing. Burn Xiao back. They actually do. In games where they are down in gold at 20 minutes across the league, LMQ has the best record in the league in such situations.
Really?
A lot of it has to do, in my opinion, with LMQ's chaotic play and how you never really know what's coming next. So even if they are behind, they're willing to make crazy plays that will catch people off guard and end up leading to victory. They actually have a winning record in games where they are down in gold at 20 minutes.
Something that definitely doesn't come easy, and I'm sure it's something LMQ has been in the position of many times. We see the early game going in favor of TSM quite a bit, even with first bloods to LMQ, but they're able to find the mistakes. It's that problem that is their success as well as going crazy. 23.3 to 20.7 here. It's 2-1 in turrets. Really looking to open up this last one. That's going to be Wild Turtle, then adding pressure to the rest of the map with Lust Boy. Actually stay together quite a lot, as you usually see Vasily would be farming off by himself here, and more would then be helping LMQ. A bit of diversity there.
And this is one of TSM's specialties with Syndra, is picks around the Dragon Pit.
Yeah.
They need to get ward control, and then if LMQ comes to check, they get stunned from beyond the Fog of War and killed before they can react. That is one of the reasons Syndra has been banned so many times against TSM, but in this game went through the pick and ban, wasn't picked by LMQ on their first two choices on the red side, and then fell into the midst of Bjergsen.
Oh, amazing. He's having a blast here. He has really been able to just work around No Name. 74 to 44 CS, already with the Brutalizer on as well. Wow.
No Name spent so much time ganking Dyrus in the early game.
Yeah.
For no real reward. Dyrus still is a powerful Lulu right now.
Very, putting that needlessly large rod in as well. Pretty much canceling out the fact that Ackerman has an ult. Morello such an effective item against that champion. And Turtle respecting the fact that his team wants to do a little bit of dragon control. So they're going to go up here, probably try to get some damage onto at least Xiao so they can't control a gigantic fight from some knockup. And they're going to go ahead and take dragon.
Yeah, TSM's a little early for this. As far as dragon control goes, but there's no objectives for them to take, so to speak. They already killed the mid lane turret. That's where they'd spend a lot of their time. Which wasn't the case. They're just using it to sweep it. That's the range of the stun right there.
Feeling like it's comfortable to go in on this, and we get Glacial Fissure for the tidal wave back and forth. And it looks like they're going to go ahead and melt that down. Now the fight continues. Ackerman got himself right in the middle of a fight. That's exactly where you want a Mundo if your team can be there with him. More forced to flash out of Quadra Bubble. That's the oh my gosh, the last breath. That's not what you say. Last breath with huge initiation coming in from Xiao. He's forced to flash and get an exhaust down so he can get himself out alive. The bubble kind of turned things around, but TSM was able to recuperate.
It goes to show you right there, Riv, how badly TSM won the start of that fight when they can get Quadra bubbled into a Yasuo ult and then still come out the victors right there. Just check out the start of this fight. So it didn't seem like a brilliant start right there because they landed the stun over the wall,
one for the other,
but they got the tidal wave. It was actually one for the other, exactly, which didn't seem like the case for LMQ. What ended up happening is when Mundo came in, Bjergsen landed the triple stun, which was followed by Amazing. That just set everything off. They could focus down on Mundo. How many times have we seen a Syndra just blow up a Mundo right after he ults before he can regen? If not for that ridiculous bubble, it would have been maybe even a clean ace. But Xiao gets blown up, lays the chase, Moore still goes down. And then they take the dragon for a 4,000 gold lead.
TSM is hungry right now, 7-1, an even faster game of kills than we had last time. Definitely turning up the heat here from their side of the map. They're feeling comfortable about it. Kills across the board now. Everybody gets a little bit of kill participation in, and it's 100% for Amazing.
He has been everywhere on this Kha'Zix game. We're wondering if vision control was going to be a problem, but he has moved around that vision just right. No Name hasn't been able to complete an early Sightstone, so it's not like that has been a factor yet. And then he is so strong.
Really great adaptation for Team SoloMid here. Amazing getting the Kha'Zix this game. They don't have that Nami. They're back to the Braum, but they're making it work this time. Definitely being able to adapt to the champion selects of LMQ. Come out on top for sure. The mind games are strong between these teams and champion select. Good clear in the mid.
The Rise ban.
Oh, man.
But that just unlocked Dyrus's Lulu. Xiao going back to the Yasuo, but it seems like Bjergsen has a pretty good answer for it. The biggest thing I see here is the command of the Trist pick here for Turtle and Lustboy, playing so much better than they did in the last game.
Especially with the way that he leveled Rocket Jump and stayed pretty safe in the early part of the game.
It was really strange.
A little odd. They made it work, though, especially against the sustain lane. They were able to dodge all the poke out on there. They come out safe. 168 to 172, especially for a Tristan lane, doing a fantastic job. Wild Turtle is the team's going to be hitting this one up. Bjergsen comes up with another kill. Vasily takes an explosive shot there. He's not going to take too much damage from it, though, but TSM is taking control. Very small spots every so often.
It almost seemed like overkill there with Bjergsen using his ult on a very low health Nami. But that's the fear they need to instill on LMQ as they run towards that Baron pit, because now that's the next part of control for TSM. Their entire strategy with the pick composition here is to just gain vision control over areas, and then you kill people as they try and get the vision. It's not about TSM doing the dragon, it's about the fights they can create because of the threat of the dragon.
With 8 or 9 wards on the map right now, they can absolutely create a lot of threats towards LMQ. Ackerman's going to be happy farming this bottom lane. They got to get the split push going. They got to get him bigger. Wild Turtle's able to pretty much cut through anybody right now, as we're not seeing too much armor on the side, if any, not any, on the side of LMQ. TSM doing as they should, coming out of base with a bit of the upper hand, clearing as many wards as possible. LMQ does a great job of getting those flanks in, getting the whatever engaged they need to get themselves back in the game.
Yeah, I mean, thinking about what LMQ needs to do to try and find their way back in, they need to get something like that Quadra Bubble Yasuo ult at the start of a fight, not necessarily the end of one. And
be
they
the
need to find
initiator.
a way. They need to find a way to absorb a Syndra ultimate without having somebody die immediately afterwards. Last of all, they somehow have to shut down Dyrus, who is just massive on Lulu right now. The power of his shields may be too much to cut through, since LMQ generally has a low damage team to begin with. Just adds to the difficulty.
Man, Dyrus is at 387 AP. Bjergsen's only at 241, so Dyrus definitely doing very well for himself this game. That completed Morel and Namicon on top of the Rabadons. Easily create a split push opportunity for the team if necessary. It looks like Amazing will leave him to do that.
Yeah, he can just match Mundo with his teleports. Every time he's done that, TSM's come out on top in a fight.
Things in the mid lane. They say the Siege Wave going to be coming up with us. Let's see if they can get this mid turret down. Dyrus coming from the right side. Not going to see the pink ward, unfortunately, so they know he will not be a threat. Bubble for some harass. So TSM poised to take the mid lane. They kind of want to just flex their muscles here and see what LMQ does about it. Looks like they're actually choosing to back off.
They have 1 minute until the next dragon. They're probably hoping to get some blue buff control as well. It's just vision starvation right now. I'm a little surprised to see TSM doing this around the dragon pit, but it's still 23 minutes in. The Baron can come later. And they're not really worried about LMQ's ability to sneak the Baron just because LMQ is so far behind. They get a turret out of it. Good move.
Locking that one down with 30 seconds onto Dragon is not too shabby. We also have Xiao Zhao on the top, so that's going to be a turret there. When they see him, they may just be able to pick that up for themselves. Get this wave pushed in middle. Pick up some more gold.
6,000 gold, 23 minutes. It's a massive comeback that LMQ would need to make. It's funny, if we look at this series as a whole, Game 1, even though LMQ started very strongly, it got close in the middle. It was
Right.
If not for that crazy Baron kind of steal thing that happened, TSM very well may have come back and won that one. Game 2 was a quick win by TSM. They dominated.
Right.
Game 3 was another very close game. And in Game 4, TSM is kind of dominating here. So if we look at the overall kind of power struggle in the game, if you could award like points for a victory, 10 would be a flawless victory.
Right.
5 would be the bare minimum you do for a victory. TSM would have more points right now. But if they win this game, it's still just going to be 2 for 2. And will come down to a blue side LMQ, where blue side has commanded every win in this entire series, and probably still be advantage LMQ for the final match.
And something to mention as well, with Xiao getting this Yasuo, his second core item has been later and later each time he has it. He got the Blade of the Rune King that the analyst desk was talking about so much, and then last game that was even past 20, now it's 24 minutes that he does finish the Infinity Edge. It's going to make him a huge threat.
I do like the choice of the Infinity Edge here because it's a team fight item. It's kind of what Yasuo does if he really, really doesn't care as much about split pushing and is going all in for the next team fight. It's not nearly as versatile, but if he gets that one shot off, it could be enough.
See you later. He's definitely the guy to do it. He's been using both summoners every time he goes in, so he knows it's going for broke. And that's the exact way that the rest of the team plays. Very close to finishing up on the Infinity Edge for Vasily, but he is an item behind right now on the Static Shift and for the Edge of Wild Turtle. That's huge damage coming from him. A nice power spike that he gets out of the bottom lane where they stayed safe and they pretty much made their own advantage. Now pushing down the mid lane, it's going to be that inhibitor turret they're looking at after they take down this mid. Have too much HP.
Yeah, check it out though. They gave blue buff to Vasily, which is really smart. The wave clear from Corki is pretty much their only option to keep these games at bay. Mundo and Yasuo wouldn't be able to do it, but the Corki definitely can. One of the big reasons they may have picked the Corki in this team composition because they needed that siege protection.
Yeah.
Corki's one of the 80 carries that can offer that to you.
Interesting.
Another catch though.
Oh, No Name gets hit there. The tidal wave is used out, so they are using a lot to disengage these fights. No Name will not be able to participate whatever TSM decides to do right now, and it looks like that's activate the split push as fast as possible.
Yeah, they burned the flash and the tidal wave. Dyrus wants to get the top lane into a position where they can freely move between lanes and threaten 2 turrets at once. It's just a slow grind here for TSM to try and get in position for victory. Something could very well go wrong, though. We know LMQ's propensity to pounce.
There's shots. Wild Turtle's able to stay at back line. Big damage to him. Dyrus is able to stop Xiao from coming over. Not going to be able to put too much pressure on. Dyrus could get himself into a scary situation here. No Name gets a good hit onto Dyrus. There's the utility of Wild Growth keeping him safe. Vasily going very hard here. Amazing tries to jump into the fight, and everybody wants a piece of it, but they're not connecting with their damage. There we go. A few back and forth. The ultimate does not take anybody out, and that's what we were looking for. If LMQ can survive that ultimate. Now their fight prowess may be on the up and up here.
Still a great start in the fight by LMQ. They burn pretty much all of Dyrus's cooldowns right off the bat and then can kind of fight 4v5. They do not get a kill, but they definitely show that they can stand toe-to-toe with TSM if they get the right type of initiation.
Dyrus getting a Void Staff in there. Lucidity's with Home Guards as well. Doing very well for himself this game. Getting himself up to near 100 CS over Ackerman within that lane, 302. Huge plays coming out as LMQ. That looked pretty good for their engage there. They almost got what they wanted with Xiao living through Bjergsen's ultimate. They just couldn't get another engage.
Such a strange fight. So right at the start, they knocked Dyrus up into the air and Xiao went for the assassination. That pulled the rest of TSM up for the fight, and then Xiao landed this beautiful 3-man Q onto them, but he didn't have the ultimate to follow up. If somehow that fight could have twisted a little bit, it actually could have turned into an LMQ fight victory.
Yeah, that would have been where the Infinity Edge comes into big play. Or get some huge kills onto that. Blade of the Rune King for him is now coming up, so they're still doing well for themselves as they are just kind of repairing their lanes that have been pushed up so hard by Team SoloMid. Very reminiscent of just back in the day play from Team SoloMid where they'd have control and most of their turrets stand very healthy. Really methodical play. Not making any bad rotations here. Bjergsen's definitely on top of his game for these last few. Making the calls count.
Now it's just about the vision game. Top laners both still have teleports, so if TSM decides to go up first, it means Ackerman has set amount of time to push down before he's willing to come back up. TSM still wanting to set up a nice catch, but they have not been able to starve LMQ's jungle of vision. Darts up their first Yasuo back as well. They're going to get a lot of damage on this push.
It's just a slow walk in right now. TSM knows they have a lot of this pressure. That turret should be going down before the teleport comes in.
They did. Now they can fight. It's
very
45.
nicely done. That's a huge back that has to come in now from Ackerman. They got to get their focus onto that inhibitor. Looks like they could be all right. Xiao wants to get himself on. Very nice wall. Pretty much puts it parallel to the shots of Wild Turtle. He can't get anything in right there. And they're able to get in. No Name, whoa! Takes way too much damage there. He only has Merc Treads and a Sight Stone to go in on the fight. Ackerman's getting hit up. They may have just given up their base. Vasily goes down in the end. A huge last breath coming in from Xiao. Can he get the crits on the Infinity Edge? One going in. That's a double kill coming in from him. It's a pentakill in his eyes. He looks for the hit. He goes to Lust Boy. That's the triple. He's gonna get the quadra. The last hit. He goes for Bjergsen. Bjergsen gets the scat of the week. He's gonna be within range. He gets the speed up from the bubble. Pentakill for Xiao.
Right when it seemed like TSM was going to force Game 5, Xiao gets 5 kills of his own. That Infinity Edge for the team fight. And Baron is up. This game and series may have just turned again.
This is amazing. Could not have asked for better matches here to come into the semifinals. Let's see how they actually made this happen.
Right, so they actually catch No Name with the stun before he can pull off an insect right there. And then it's just about how well Xiao can land this. Watch this. No one's actually focusing on him. They're thinking about ending the game. He gets it on 3 of them. Bjergsen, Turtle, and Lustboy. Fills up his shield. They knock him back. And the damage dealers of TSM are just not available right now. Everyone ran out of mana. So Xiao just gets to run around killing everyone. Dashing to everyone for the first time. And once he got that quadra kill, the last bits of mana from Bjergsen are spent. Meaning it is only a matter of time.
Boom.
I think it was a red buff or something that counts at the end? Still counts.
So long burn. Great job coming in. 5-0-1 now. Xiao must feel like he is just standing on the soapbox calling the shots as the quiet player on the team, if you will. Silent and completely deadly.
And the Baron, since it went to LMQ, completely resets this game.
Yeah.
It's like it's been close the entire time. The only difference, though, is the map control and how much unclaimed gold lies on the map for LMQ. So since they have this Baron buff right now, and all the outer turrets from TSM are up, TSM kind of has to respect the Baron buff. Since it's kind of close now, they know they just got pentakilled by Xiao, so they may have to give up 2, maybe 3 turrets during the duration of this Baron buff. We'll have to see how well TSM can wave clear to stop that from happening.
Such an intense moment. It was awesome to see Moore use the Nami bubble to speed him up. That was fantastic. You don't see that too often. Great coordination from LMQ. TSM now trying to regroup a little bit and get their vision down. This Baron is going to be very, very big for LMQ to use here over the next 4 minutes, or the rest of it that they should have. They're getting their own vision down, and they feel so much like they're in control, as they should. Even an inhibitor down here. They're going to be making moves towards mid lane.
And how confident are they going to be with this Mundo tanking turrets and the wind wall to block skill shots right here. Corki not the best at sieging turrets, but Baron buff is a big help in the map. With the Nami sustain combined with Mundo's natural health regen and the Baron buff, it's really hard to poke LMQ off these turrets unless they're willing to hard engage. The last time they did that, they got pentakilled.
Wall
before
after
LMQ
wall.
Baron.
On these outer turrets, the wall.
Oh, Bjergsen kicked to the side.
Pressure.
That's a sloppy start.
Whoa. Glacial Fisher goes in. No Name again being the focus of that Bjergsen ultimate. And they begin to scatter LMQ. They find a fight that they get to initiate. Vasily does 1v1 out a kill for himself, but it's a triple kill for Bjergsen to come in. He starts to put his own numbers on the board, and it's only Vasily that's going to help to guard the base in a 1-for-4.
LMQ's greatest strength is their greatest weakness. They will go for any fight, anywhere, and this time it was a disaster. They could not get the combo onto Bjergsen. It exposed them under the turret. Their middle inhibitor is down. Their entire team is dead aside from Vasily, and TSM wants to end this one.
They got a pretty close wave coming down the mid lane. They just got to buy some time here with the inhibitor going down. These bombs are doing huge damage. They can't connect on that one. They do not decide to jump in. Great job from Vasily, thwarting out what I'm sure a lot of people thought was about to be the end of the game right there.
Enough rockets are landed by Vasily. He escaped that fight with the sliver of health that he can prolong this game. And knowing the swinginess of these team fights, it very well just keeps LMQ completely in this game.
Woo. Wow, Jad, we got a definite series going on here.
Yeah.
And it seems like LMQ has almost brought themselves back in this fight. Ackerman with the home guard in. He's actually not able to find anybody right off the bat. Gets a bite from the Wolves, too, to shut those off. So they're still trying. They're still going hard.
Of course they would right now. No Name has been unable to find any type of fights. Probably the worst Lee Sin game of his life, happening at the worst time right here. But the rest of LMQ is carrying strong here because they came back so quickly after that push. They're able to get down that middle turret. Just non-stop action this whole series.
No Name, considering the magic damage, puts a Negatron cloak in. Hopefully he doesn't get zeroed out right away from Bjergsen's focus, which has been on point as well. 6-1 and 5 for the team coming out. But Xiao with that pentakill answer is really making it hard for Team SoloMid to get that win.
It was a featured matchup for a reason there.
Yeah.
Xiao versus Bjergsen are not disappointing whatsoever. A big difference here, though, is Trist coming along strong with the item choices.
Yeah.
The ability to cut through. Vasily has a lot of AoE damage on Corki, so he won't actually fall off as of yet. He's incredibly strong right now with Infinity Edge, Triforce, and BF Sword. His missiles are much greater poke than you would realize. The mid-game power of Corki, if you consider 35 minutes mid-game, which in this context it is huge.
Yeah, you're able to push off 4 members inside the base. So I wonder what he'd do with the organization of the entire team, focusing down the right champions. 395 to 306. I don't know how Xiao does it every time. Kind of amazing.
Always farms, always kills. He didn't have a single kill before that pentakill.
That's true.
In the game.
That's crazy. Here, have this. It's all yours. 2 minutes on to Baron, 1 on to Dragon. I don't know if Dragon's even going to be what these guys want. Dyrus is going to go ahead and make sure that they're at least warded up towards this bottom side if anything crazy happens. Well, he's actually just being a human ward. Sees nobody. He feels safe to push up. He might find this pink ward up here. It would be quite nice, but LMQ not worried about the split push. They're worried about the fog of war attack.
The shield does make it not a great ult for Xiao.
That's right. Exhaust goes down into Amazing. He's forced right out of the fight. Then he jumps back in, right back out. And they're able to get a double kill. Here's the power coming in from Wild Turtle. He was on the backside at 117, but now he brings out the damage with the rest of the team. Team SoloMid take down LMQ inside or right in front of their base. Now being inside are going to take the game. We are taking it to another one.
Unreal series we have here, Rib. Of course it's going to go 5 games. 36 minutes, 18 kills. TSM takes down LMQ. Game 5.
I like it. This is going to be amazing. No pun intended there.
A lot of relief there on Bjergsen. They thought maybe they threw the game away after that Xiao pentakill.
Yeah.
But the Braum shields actually saved their skin on multiple occasions. That last fight in particular, Lustboy just did not let anyone past him, absorbing the bubble and the Xiao ultimate that seemed aimed at Bjergsen. 7-8 for that, Syndra. Lulu.
Thanks, Riv. Gentlemen, we're going to game 5.
Oh, yeah.
I'm excited. I'm so excited. But we have to break down game 4. And one of the things I want to touch on is TSM's ability to mid-series adapt. It's something that they've shown historically. They've always been a great team at it, and even with a new roster, they're still managing to do it. Their ability to adapt in the middle of the series, change up champion select, and find a way to get back into it is just astounding.
Yeah, both teams kind of had some adaptations here. We saw the Rise ban in place of the Syndra, but I left it up for Bjergsen, who took that away second round there, and they went with the Lulu pick first for Dyrus in the top, and he won that lane flat out and caused a lot of pressure, so that was a great pickup there for them.
Yeah, I definitely think first picking Lulu was pretty genius. I honestly didn't even see that because I kind of forgot Lulu was a top champion. So when they did that, it kind of hurt LMQ's ban phase or pick phase. The second they picked Lulu, it goes, do we pick Syndra now? Well, if I Syndra ult something, they're just going to Lulu ult it. So it kind of, I think, persuaded LMQ from not picking Syndra, and then TSM took it the next rotation, and in my opinion, they won pick ban phase off of that.
And let's isolate the top lane. You already mentioned the Lulu, but I feel like so much of this matchup hinges there on the top lane because we watch the mid laners duking it out. They're pretty even the whole time. we saw Dyrus forced onto Mundo earlier. He lost because he couldn't quite make plays. You get behind, you get bullied, and that's what Ackerman's great at. Now we watch TSM flip the table on him. You force Ackerman onto Mundo, and Dyrus is able to bully him out and make him ineffective.
Yeah, it also brought the jungler up there a lot. We saw a ton of escapes there by Dyrus, where he just whimsied himself, runs away, over and over and over again. And then they just got ahead, and then they started focusing later on in the game, and then Bjergsen was getting assists in the mid, and they spilled that over. So I really like that play. They kind of sacrificed the bot lane for a bit, but it worked out for them because there wasn't a huge amount of pressure.
I mean, something that's been subtle in all these games is whatever team has the bigger playmaker top has won. And in this game, LMQ banned out the Ryze, and TSM banned out the Maokai, and the next playmaking top is Lulu. Mundo is not going to make a big play make. He's not a big playmaker unless he's like gigantic. So taking the Lulu away, it helps the mid lane for the Syndra pick, and then it also keeps Ackerman away from doing anything but walking up and throwing a cleaver at you.
So let's jump into a replay 17 minutes in, because there's still a lot to talk about, but I want to get into the actual gameplay. 17 minutes in, around the Dragon Pit. This is a replay that showcases how far ahead TSM was. Probably, I'm going to let you take this one, walk us through it.
So this was really interesting. It looked like LMQ wants to defend the Dragon, but they're not fully grouped yet. So Bjergsen's able to start off the fight by getting good poke down. And I think right now Amazing kind of overextends a bit, not realizing how far his team is. And so right now it seems a little weak. TSM is honestly at a health disadvantage, but they're able to collapse on Mundo, and then LMQ just funnels into that little choke point, and Bjergsen gets a 3-man stun while blowing up the Mundo. And at this point, they're just able to turn the fight and start chasing down. And the best part is this beautiful flash Nami bubble. Boom, gets 4 people, and Yasuo follows up. The only thing that stopped that from turning it around was the exhaust on Yasuo. If they didn't have exhaust for that, I think that would have been a 3v5 turnaround, and LMQ would have came out on top.
And that's that playmaking potential that we see on Xiao, but the Mundo being relatively ineffective on that TP, whereas when the Lulu came in, had that ultimate to keep Kha'Zix alive there, which really let them secure that fight, take the Dragon, and just push that lead further.
Yeah, it was really the Syndra stun on 3 people that allowed them to blow up Mundo and made it a bad TP. Otherwise, it would have been great.
At this point, too, in the game, I want to look at another part of LMQ's team comp, which is the distinct lack of wave clear, right? Because they chose a pretty decent, Corki early in the lane. They were punishing a bit, but when you get behind like that, when the Lulu's bullying your Mundo around and the Syndra's big, there's no way for them to defend turrets at this point.
Yeah, they kind of had to just use wind wall and look for a team fight. And that's what the composition was looking for there. It was just an all-out team fight, hoping Xiao can pick it up for them.
But in that situation, would it be better, right, to have a little bit of it? Because there's no real AD carries that can do it. You decided to go for that Mundo in the top lane. Is it time to now kind of move away from the Yasuo and say, all right, if we're going to give up the Syndra by banning out the Ryze, we need to put you on a wave clear champion in case we get behind early?
I think Corki supplements the wave clear a bit. But obviously in that game, they were able to break the base pretty quickly with Syndra stuns and stuff like that. So between Windwall and Corki's wave clear, it just wasn't enough. And the second they lost mid inhib, at that point, they definitely don't have enough wave clear. If they were able to stop the base from being cracked, I think Corki could kind of extend it. But the second the base was cracked, it was very obvious they didn't have enough wave clear for it. And at that point, it was just, TSM could just win the game. And that's when you saw LMQ doing that kind of sneaky engage from the left side, because they knew if TSM got in a position to start sieging, they wouldn't be able to stop it.
And Zyrene, you pointed out that because of their lack of wave clear, in those times, they needed to look for the team fights. So we're actually going to pull up another replay because we have to look at this. The pentakill from Xiao. And although it wasn't enough to turn the game, it is pretty spectacular. I'll let you take this one away.
All right, so the last replay we saw, there was an exhaust that came down. It's not up this time, so we'll start rolling the clip out here. We see No Name try to go for an insect play here. He actually gets stunned up mid-transition to that ward. He gets blown up. And then LMQ, they try to disengage this, they try to get back. Lustboy uses his ultimate to stop Ackerman. And now Ackerman is the main target, and they actually don't peel off of him. He pops his ultimate here, and he soaks. He peels towards Xiao. They funnel in, 3-man ultimate here, no exhaust available, and he starts just wreaking havoc. Bjergsen, no damage out of him here. Wild Turtle hits him off the side, and they're still trying to focus down Ackerman, who has that ultimate on him, regenning his HP. Lustboy, he's still tunneling in on that too, and now Xiao gets to run around. Bjergsen, he missed that stun. Right here, he's going to try to get away, but even before the ultimate came off, Bjergsen almost hit him with a stun again. So Bjergsen missed about 2 to 3 stuns there after hitting the first one. And that last kill there was off of the Bilgewater active.
I love that. You know that too is that moment in the fight where you're like, oh wait, I never used my active. Good thing he's sitting at 100 health.
Yeah.
An interesting little factoid there for everyone at home. That pentakill is the first pentakill in the LCS where the team did not win as a result of it or following that pentakill. So now across NA and EU LCS, we are 4-1 for teams that have pentakills and their win-loss record, which is kind of interesting.
It's a really sad bit of trivia, though.
Yeah.
I don't want to be part of that pentakill.
All right, well, now we move into Game 5. So the all-important question, I'm going to throw it to you guys. I want you to pick a winner. Coming out of that game, TSM looks strong. They've made some great mid-series adaptations. Is it enough for them to come in third game and break that trend of blue side winning?
I'm going to have to go with LMQ on this one. I think that the fact that they're going to be blue side again, and they banned Ryze last time, so they get themselves to ban out the Syndra once again, so Bjergsen won't have that champion, and then that puts it on TSM to really make an adaptation in this series. So I think I'm going to have to go with LMQ here.
Probably.
I'm just here to piss off Zyrene. So I'm going to go with TSM. I think they got it. I do think blue side's really advantageous in this matchup just because of the top laners. They need a playmaker. And then mid lane, you got to ban out Zed. You got to get Syndra. So I think TSM has an advantage because they just, boom, they won that last game, and they're ready to just go hard for the next and close it out.
And blue side has won every game so far in the series, so we'll see if TSM is able to break that trend. But for now, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, it's on to Game 5 between LMQ and TSM with the entire series on the line. And coming up, Curse and Cloud9 will get their spot on the Rift. Already the teams are gearing up. We see High here squeezing in a little practice time while Balls watches TSM and LMQ from the sidelines. And of course, Sneaky doing a quick equipment check. Then over in Curse's locker room, Cop and Xpecial getting warmed up for their semifinals. We'll be right back with more of our NA LCS coverage in just a bit.